private rights with public interest, and innovation with inclusion. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the government of Kenya remains committed to creating a transparent, efficient, sustainable land administration system under the Ministry of Lands and Public Works, Housing and Urban Development. We have embarked on a comprehensive land digital agenda, including the Ardhi Sasa platform, to improve service delivery, enhance accountability, and hence enhance also transparency. We are also advancing urban renewal, affordable housing, and infrastructure programs aligned with the bottom-up economic transformative agenda of what we usually call better of the government. And I'm sure you are fully aware of this. Quite a number of Kenyans have taken full advantage of this low-cost housing opportunities. And I want to encourage the young fellows who are also in this room, please do not be left behind. These initiatives recognize that land and property are both economic assets and social goods essential for inclusive growth. I take this opportunity to assure land and built environment professionals that the government values and relies on professional bodies such as the Institute of Surveyors of Kenya to provide technical guidance, policy insights, and ethical leadership in these national efforts. The government has invested in creating special economic zones and export processing zones so as to expand the economy from the lower to higher middle income status in the medium and long term. Ladies and gentlemen, I am particularly encouraged by the integration of the 4th FIG Young Surveyors Africa Forum within this conference. And I think this is extremely important. I just want to add here, because then you can also be able to have the opportunity to do the mentorship. You can also be able to have that opportunity to do the cross-pollination, if you like, that you can be able to strengthen your network and share ideas and information on whatever caliber you are or whatever country you come from, and so that we can have a very strong and resilient institution as well. Let me emphasize, building the future requires an intentional and deliberate focus on the youth and the young professionals in land and build sector. I would like to speak to the youth, or should I say the young surveyors in the conference. Africa has a demographic advantage, a youth population that holds immense potential. And we keep on talking about this. Very important that we know even in our country, 60% plus are in that category. And if you look at the median age in Africa, it's actually around 19 or so. So this is a very relatively young continent. The future is very bright, but we must be able to do heavy investment in our young intellectuals so that they can continue being co-pilots in the developmental agenda. I do not believe that youth are the future leaders, but they're the leaders today, and we have to run together with you. The young, brilliant minds in this room and across the globe possess a unique combination of creativity, energy, and adaptability that are indispensable in navigating the challenges and the opportunity presented by the 21st century. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the youth are the heartbeat of any nation. It is our energy, creativity, and innovation that can propel our society to new heights. In Africa, and indeed in Kenya, we have one of the youngest population in the world, which I've just said earlier, with a median age significantly lower than that part of many other countries. It is an opportunity because the youth are the tremendous source of dynamism and tap potential and fresh ideas that can drive transformation in the land and build sector. Our youth of today are digital natives as well. They are grown up in a world where smartphones, the internet, and social media are the norms. And I think we really need to take advantage of this. You have a smartphone in your hand, and you have literally the entire globe within your reach, that you can be able to gather, you can be able to get information, but we must make sure that we do that direction so that we can make good use of that particular information. Online education platforms, for instance, have revolutionized the way young people learn. They provide access to wealth of knowledge around the world, making education more inclusive and accessible. And I think we have this Open University in Kenya. We also have the Kenya ISK at the Konza. All these are great opportunities that we can take full advantage of. With the rise of e-economy and digital marketing, young people can now start their businesses with minimal capital. And you know that recently His Excellency has launched, and our PSs are all over the place, really talking about the Nyota. I know it doesn't fit here because most of you, if not all, are at least that level of graduate, but also we have other opportunities within the government setup like Nyota project, where we are looking at the age of 18 and 29 years old, and to be able to help these guys who do not have any formal qualification to be able to start their own businesses. By doing so, we do not only create job opportunities, but also foster a culture of self-reliance and innovation. To young surveyors present, the torch of professionalism is being passed to you. Carry it with integrity, and I'm underlining that word integrity because this is one of the challenges that we have, curiosity and courage. The continent transformation will be shaped by your innovation. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as Africa continues to integrate into African continental free trade area, there is a pressing need to harmonize professional standards and promote cross-border collaboration. And I think this is already over many years you have been doing this, and I want to encourage continuation of that. The issue of building synergies, collaboration and cooperation, and break the silos, because this is one of the major challenges we see not only in this profession but in many other professionals. So I encourage you to use this platform not only to discuss ideas but to build actionable partnership that influence policy at the national, regional and global level. I think you've had what Professor Ochieng was talking about, looking at the KPAs, looking at the KPIs as well, so that we can be able to measure. For me, I trust and believe whatever we do, we must be able to do the socialization of it. That means we must be able to touch the society and be able to have a positive impact using our professional. So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in an area defined by the climate change, urbanization, technological disruption, the survey professional must continuously adapt. The integration of geospatial intelligence, smart mapping, artificial intelligence, and digital twin technologies can revolutionize how we plan cities, manage natural resources, and respond to disasters. But technology must serve humanity and not just replace it, as my brother said it from the ICT. We must ensure that innovation in land management contributes to climate resilience, gender inclusivity, and the social equity. And I think Madam President of the Commonwealth did actually go very deep on this, looking at the issues of the climate change, looking at the issue of the gender. Nobody should be left behind, and most importantly, the social equity of whatever we do. So as we open this conference, I urge, maybe I should stop. If it was my statement, I would have stopped by then. But it is for His Excellency. So just few paragraphs. As we open this conference, I urge each delegate to engage with a purpose and passion. Let your deliberations here in Mombasa inspire new ideas, strong institutions and lasting partnership. Let us envisage an Africa where land is not a source of conflict, but a foundation for peace and prosperity. And an Africa where surveyors are not just professionals, but custodians of equitable development. And an Africa where technology and ethics work hand in hand to build sustainable communities. So once again, I want really to take this opportunity to applaud the instructions of the surveyors of Kenya, the Survey Institute of Zimbabwe, the Institute of Surveyors of Uganda, Castle, the FIG, for their leadership in convening this transformative gathering. And I think this is a very clear testimony of what we can be able to get from collaboration and cooperation. So on behalf of the government of Kenya, I reaffirm our support to your noble work and our commitment to collaborate in building a continent where every parcel of land contributes to dignity, productivity, and sustainability. If I may pause for a second or two, Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we all know that almost 60% of the arable land in the world actually lies in Africa. Yet less than 10% of this global, we contribute to less percent of the global agricultural output. And most of the time, it is because, in my opinion, that we might not have the relevant policies and regulations that we need to put in place. But also, the things are changing now. Things are changing. We must be able to embrace science, research, and innovation. And we have had here, and especially for the young surveyors that are coming forward now, as you go into the future, it's going to be a different ball game. To what extent are we looking at issues such as the spatial satelliting, space science, artificial intelligence? All these are things that we really need to embrace as we go into the future. The population is ever increasing. In Africa, we are projecting almost 2.5 billion people by 2050. And again, as I've said, a relatively very young population. Hence, we have to look at ways and means of how we do urban planning. I mean, I just came, I was in Vienna for 10 years at the United Nations. And you can see that leadership. You could see that projection people had 100 years ago. Proper urban planning, and I think this is something that His Excellency Deputy Governor was talking about. We must be able to plan. We need to think, and I think His Excellency President Dr. William Samoei Ruto has already moved in that trajectory. We've been talking about better bottom-up economic transformative agenda. We are also talking about the Vision 2030, which is just around the corner. We've heard about the SDGs. We know about the Africa Agenda 2063. But His Excellency is telling us it is unacceptable that 60 years after independence, we are lagging behind, of which countries such as Singapore, Malaysia, right? We were at par with them early 60s. So he wants us to leapfrog. And the only way to do that is to make sure that we address certain challenges of the society. We must be able to have the visionary leaders. We must be able to embrace science, research, and innovation. So I really want to urge, as we go into our professionals, this is what the Singaporeans and Malaysians and South Korea did from early 60s. And it took them about 30 years to be where they are. I think it is possible. It is through partnership, it is through collaboration, it is through mentorship, it is through having appropriate education system. It is through having an appropriate pedagogy, the way we communicate, the way we teach. So really, I want to encourage you as you continue with this conference, take note of what you have achieved in the past, and let's think outside the box. Let's embrace new technologies, and if possible, let's create a new box. In my State Department, we are also available. Our really work is to do advisory, to do the promotion, to do the regulation on all matters to do with science, technology, and innovation. And we work very closely with other State Departments to see how Kenya can leapfrog from where it is to the first world country, and I think it is possible. Friends, colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now my distinct honor and pleasure to officially declare the 10th ISK African Regional Conference officially open.